I'm 23, female, and I'm getting married in January. I just found out my fiancé, Mark, 25, male, fake name, invited his old situationship to our wedding without consulting me. For context, me and Mark met on a dating app 2 years after he broke up a relationship. To be honest, it's quite confusing what he and Tracy, 22, female, had. They met because of a mutual friend and started to develop feelings for each other. Mark told me they never dated and slept together, but it was more than a friendship. Until today, he keeps her love letters, gifts, and talks about her. Tracy and him tried to stay in contact after the breakup, staying friends, but she ghosted him after finding out we started to date. From what I saw on her social media, she's in a relationship, so I'm not worried about her trying to get with my fiancé again. They haven't been in contact for 2 years, but he still has her number and email. I found out about him inviting her after I checked our guest list again and finding her name. I know Tracy is not a threat to our relationship, but Mark inviting her behind my back makes me feel bad about her whole wedding. He told me he doesn't feel anything for her, yet he made sure to send her an invitation. This is probably me being insecure, but my fear of him not getting over her is slowly creeping inside my heart. I don't want to lose him. Let's pause here and get a couple of comments from the community. First up, he's probably not over her, especially since they were never a thing for him. She might be the one that got away. If I were OP, I would have a very serious talk with him. The OP replies, I don't get why he is not over her, especially if they were never a thing. From what Mark told me, he was the one who didn't want a relationship, since Tracy just started life with someone else. Someone else chimes in, she's the one that got away, and another thought from someone else suggests, tell them you don't want her there, and that's final. And he better rescind it, or you'll have to rethink the marriage, because starting a married life by going behind your back is a no-no, to be honest. You need to not stubbornly hold on to someone you can't trust, and you can't trust someone who does crap behind your back. The OP replies, her going to the wedding doesn't make me uncomfortable, since I know she won't do anything. The problem is my fiancé and the fact he invited her to the wedding without notifying me. If Mark wanted her there, fine, but I just hate the fact he didn't tell me beforehand, and it's making me think he lied about getting over her. The community responds with, yeah, no sis, they haven't had contact for years. He kept her old love letters. He went behind your back to invite her. Hell no, I'd uninvite myself to the wedding. The OP replies, they are in no contact for 2 years. She immediately blocked him after knowing we were seeing each other. The whole situation is making me second-guess her wedding. Another commenter replies, what reason did he give for inviting her? The OP answers, I haven't confronted Mark yet. I just found out a few hours ago, and I'm waiting for him to come back. Yet someone else says, how did he invite her if they haven't been in contact? Is she still at her old address? Did she confirm she's coming? The OP answers, he has her email, and I believe she didn't block him there. There was her name, but Tracy didn't confirm her presence. Another community member chimes in. Why do you keep saying I know she won't do anything? If you can't trust him not to do anything with an old fling, you should not be getting married. OP replies, Tracy has a boyfriend and is expecting. Also, she was the one who blocked him everywhere after finding out we were dating. To which the person replies, right, but my point is, you should be saying, I know he won't do anything to jeopardize our relationship. OP replies, you're right. I don't think I can trust him anymore. Mark sounds like he's been stuck in the never was but could have been phase with Tracy, and apparently, Tracy's on the guest list. Honestly, if he thinks it's normal to keep sending invites to his unresolved past while planning a future with you, he's the wrong guy for you. Update. After reading the comments and talking with some friends, my heart finally understood that Mark never really got over Tracy in the beginning. I was in denial, but I went out with Tom, a 24-year-old male who has been his best friend for years, to understand what really happened between them. From what he told me, Tracy and Mark met because of some friends in common. She just got into the university and was 17 at the time, while Mark was already almost graduating. They stayed friends for 2 years, and feelings started to blossom. Mark was already working while she was still in college, and he only wanted to formally date her after her graduation, so it was a never thing, even though they shared love letters, gifts, and almost every holiday together. Tom told me everyone from their old friend group thought they would marry, since they were so sweet together, so the breakup was really unpredictable. Tracy was the one who broke up with Mark due to their religious values not lining up, as she wanted to save herself until marriage. In the end, they decided it was better to go separate ways and maybe try again after a few years. But after me and Mark started to date, Tracy realized that it was pointless to wait for him and started to see other people too. So, she blocked him in everything except email, just to have a clean beginning. In the end, I finally realized Mark is just hopeful that Tracy would come back to him due to their talks of trying again after a while. It honestly hurts so much as I loved him so much. I still didn't confront him since I'm still shaken up, but I don't know if this marriage will happen. I'm going to update once I calm down and confront him. Let's get a couple more reactions from the community. The first person says, "Why have you not asked him why she was added to the invite list?" Yet, there could be a reasonable explanation. The OP replied, "I don't want to break down in front of him while asking. I need to cool off first." The commenter comes back, "But you talk to the best friend. You know that Tom is going to give him a heads up." The OP replies, "I wanted to know the nature of their relationship first." The commenter replies again, "Well, I think a positive is that Tom's version lines up with Mark's. I think you should also ask Mark about it before Tom has an opportunity to give him a heads up and for him to make up some reason for the invite." Another thought from the community is, "I'd write down all your feelings and thoughts in a letter to him. Explain what Tom said to you. Tell him it aligns with him, keeping the love letters, trying to stay in contact and bring her up even 2 years later while in a relationship with you. Tell him you love him enough to let him go." I'd also reach out to Tracy and ask if your fiancé has been talking to her at all. You never know if there is more to the story or if she has moved on from him. From what you wrote, it doesn't seem like he moved on from her. He shouldn't be inviting someone he still has romantic feelings for to his wedding. That's cruel to you, his future wife, and Tracy as well. If I was her, I'd feel like he was trying to shove his relationship in my face. I'd be offended he even invited me. Also, will this be the first time seeing her in 2 years for some reason? I seriously doubt it. However, if it is, that's pretty diabolical. It's like he's using your wedding and you as a prop in their love story. Does he think he's the male lead in some K-drama? At the very least, give him the letter. If he wants to meet up, ask to see his phone, go through his deleted messages, and send emails along with his trash folder. I think there's more to the story. Were you supposed to walk down the aisle and just see Tracy there? He's honestly an a-hole and a selfish one at that. Op replied, "He's cruel. I'm almost having a breakdown because of him. He's kept love letters, gifts, and a hopeful, maybe someday future with Tracy in his back pocket while planning a wedding with you. Now he wants to drag her into your wedding day as the mystery guest. He's not just bringing her to the wedding. He's bringing her along as a backup bride, just in case he decides the marriage is too permanent and she's the one that got away. Ask for answers and demand them." Update 2. It's been a while since the last update, and I'm here to announce the wedding has been called off. My parents are the ones canceling everything for me. It's like I returned to my childhood when Mom and Dad had to solve my problems. I confronted Mark after talking to Tom and made him aware of everything that I've been dealing with. His reaction at the beginning was dismissive, and it was almost as if he was trying to escape from the situation. In the end, Mark said he never loved someone like Tracy because it was pure and innocent. She reminded him that not everything is about carnal desire, and in the darkest moments of his life, Tracy was like sunlight. Hearing the man you love admitting how much he loved another woman is so hurtful. During the talk, I started to cry, bawling my eyes out. Mark had the audacity to say he loves me, but it's a different kind of love. I asked why he invited her to our wedding, and he was speechless. Why he had to throw away our future for something in the past. This hurts so much. Mark told me he knew Tracy didn't block him on email, since he was the one who helped her get her first job. A lot of professional stuff was involved. This is how he was able to send her our wedding invitation. But when I asked what he meant with this, Mark just said he wanted to make her watch us together and realize what she lost. Because he was hurt that Tracy was pregnant and not married. The moment Mark mentioned Tracy's pregnancy, a red alarm started to echo in my head. How did you know about her pregnancy? You said she blocked you everywhere. I could see panic in his eyes as he started to stutter. In the end, I made him give me his phone, and I found out more than 5 accounts to stalk Tracy. My stomach felt sick, and the urge to vomit was overwhelming. In the end, I decided to call off the engagement since he was a creep. Mark threw himself on the floor, asking for forgiveness. He claimed he loved me, just in a different way compared to Tracy. He was just hurt that she gave herself to another man while he begged her countless times for sex. This made me feel even more disgusted with him because he felt entitled to her virginity and body. I left without taking even a bag with me. Everything was just too much. I can't believe I spent 2 years loving a stalker, a man-child. Oh, I also told Tracy everything and about his accounts. I don't know if she saw my messages, but I hope she does. The jealousy I once felt for her transformed into pity, as no woman should go through what Mark has done. Mark wants to meet up with me and doesn't want me to break up, but I'm just so tired. Small update. Tracy messaged me and wants to grab a coffee with me. Let's check in again with a couple comments first. One says, "I'm so sorry. This really sucks. You should have your parents get your stuff, and you should stay as far away from Mark as you can. If he is capable of stalking Tracy, he's capable of stalking you. Make sure there are security cameras at your parents' house, and you should block him. The only bright side is that you found out before you married him." The Opie replies, "I'm thinking about leaving the US and going to another country. Social media are not for me, so it's harder for him to stalk me. I don't have anything of great value in Mark's house except some clothes and makeup, so I don't care if he throws it away." Someone else chimes in, "I hope you can heal from this, and you are truly lucky to have found out before the wedding. So many women discover something like this when it's way too late, or like you, before the wedding, but unlike you, go through with it at the wedding, thinking that he loves me too. Marriage will make him forget. And they only talk through email, so it's not that deep. They ignore that giant red flag because of it and don't even dig deep enough to find out he was also stalking her. I'm sorry you met a psycho like this. It takes a lot to follow your gut and leave while marriage is imminent, like you did. You truly are exceptional and know your worth." The Opie replies, "Thank you." One more commenter says, "So happy that you got to know all of this before you married that small man. The fact he claimed he's 1.8 when he's only 1.73? Free, huh? It's honestly a blessing in disguise that you caught this before tying the knot." The Opie imagines walking into a marriage with someone who thinks stalking is a form of love. His idea of pure love sounds more like a true crime documentary waiting to happen. Update 3. I think this is my last update since I've already met up with Tracy and talked about what happened. Me and Tracy met at a cafe in the beginning, and I was really nervous as I didn't know what her reaction would be because her reply was only, "Hi, let's talk over a cup of coffee." When I was waiting for her, I could feel my back sweating, and overall, I was experiencing a lot of emotion. Tracy arrived, and I finally understood why Mark was so obsessed with her, as she is definitely one of the most beautiful women I have seen. She's pretty in the pictures, but personally, she looks even better. Tracy said hello to me and asked if I was willing to go to her house to talk, since being outside for too long makes her really tired. We ordered some coffee to go, and it was super awkward. So now let's talk about what she told me. First of all, she apologized for being the reason why I'm now single, which I assured her is not her fault. Teresa said she received the invitation, but was simply not interested in participating in our wedding, as she was already in a happy relationship, and it's pointless to see a person from the past with the story Tom and Mark told me. I got curious and asked about them staying friends, as it sounded like she wanted to stay with him after the breakup, and it's the polar opposite of her behavior. Tracy was extremely uncomfortable with this question, but still explained to me why she said that. In the beginning, she was really in love with Mark because he was her first love. She described him as a protector, someone trustworthy, handsome, and kind, as he always showered her with gifts and travels. Everything was fine and sweet. But over time, Mark started to beg her for sex, so much to the point of her pretending to be sick just to avoid him. She didn't want to sleep with him and had some sort of blockage, like a stick, telling her not to do this. She was sick and tired of all of this and used the fact that her parents are extremely religious to justify why sex is off the chart. This led to a fight, which Mark never told me about, and then to breaking up. But 2 weeks after, they started to talk again, and she fell in love with him as he helped her get a job in a prestigious company and spent a lot of money on her with trips, foods, and presents. One of the gifts was a Rolex for her 18th birthday, which made me mad since he never spent so much money on me. So when Tracy found out me and Mark were seeing each other, she felt relieved and finally had a proper reason to block him everywhere. Since he was still sometimes hinting about them sleeping together in the end, I told her that in the entire relationship, Mark would sometimes talk about her. In the beginning, it was kind of weird, but I just brushed it off since she was part of his story. Oh, I also talked about Mark's numerous accounts, and in the beginning, she didn't believe me. But I showed her the accounts I knew, which was creepy since they all had female names, followers, and pictures. All of them looked real. Her account is public, so I asked Tracy to make it private. She made a new account with her Korean name and deactivated the old one. We had fun and became friends. She's a really sweet person, and I saw how her boyfriend treated her like a queen. I'm happy she found love and got rid of Mark. Let's get some more comments from the community. The first one. I'd out Mark to his family and friends, so everyone is aware of what a dangerous creep he is. Barf. The OP replies, I'm going to text his mom. Someone else chimes in. What Mark has done is absolutely atrocious and incredibly disgusting. I'm glad you got a newfound friend from this and dropped that trash bag of a person. Also, go you OP. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take a well-deserved vacation with friends or a nice spa day. Basically, treat yourself. The OP responds, I've been thinking about why Mark was so obsessed, and it must have been because of some sort of yellow fever. Another commenter has this to say, why did he buy her a Rolex for her 18th birthday? I thought they didn't start dating until a few years after they met, and she was 17 when they met. The OP responds, they were only friends. The commenter responds back again, ew, that's so creepy and weird. So she was 17, and he was friends with her. No one buys a 17-year-old turning 18-year-old girl a Rolex as a friend. Another commenter says, girl, maybe her new boyfriend has some single friends who aren't crazy. He can introduce you. The OP replies, hopefully. I need a blonde, 6 feet 5 inches guy. Another commenter says, works in finance, and the OP replies, trust fund. The commenter replies again, I'm hearing the remix version in my head right now. Another chimes in, oh, for F's sake, are you all buying into this BS? The OP replies, it's your choice to believe what happened to me or not. It's beyond disturbing to hear what he was still trying to control and manipulate things from behind the scenes, even after your relationship with him. That Rolex situation, major red flag. The boundaries were so crossed there, and it only adds to the list of reasons why you're better off without him. Take your time and focus on you. I really hope you get that vacation or spa day you deserve. And as for the whole blonde, 6 feet 5 inches guy thing, I'm here for it. Keep your standards high, because you definitely deserve someone who values you and treats you like a queen, not like a trophy to be controlled. What do you think?